Hey everyone, it's Daniel, Brother Barbaris. In my last video, MDT Retirement and End of an Era, I had a question from Peter Holst. Does anyone have any good suggestions for offline deployment of Windows Server OS and environments without Internet Active Directory, DHCP, and DNS? Critical infrastructure environments? We currently use MDT, which has given us great flexibility, but now we need to explore new methods. And I told him, Peter, I'm going to make a video for just this very thing. I asked him to email me, and he did. He gave me, thank you for your interest in my issue. He gave me a bunch of software that he installs, what kind of servers he's deploying, a bunch of settings, BG info, roles and features, etc., etc. Okay. I told him, unfortunately, not only is Microsoft retiring MDT, but in the newest updates, they're disabling WDS as a functionality and will be removing it completely soon. This means that without a third-party suite or SCCM autopilot, you'll only be able to use USB media to install the OS. I said I can show you how to make WIM files step by step, which is what we're going to do in this video. But as you can see, January 13th, the Microsoft Patch Tuesday, Windows Deployment Services, this update introduces a change in behavior, which WDS will stop supporting hands-free deployment functionality by default. If you look here, they're disabling it now, but then phase 2, April 2026, default behavior changes to secure by default. Okay. Now he said he's in critical infrastructure environments, so they can't really do any exceptions to Microsoft supported deployments. So I'm going to show you a way to do this in your environment. Now, normally I would just use VMware Workstation, but I installed Hyper-V as well as VMware Workstation. We're going to do this side by side. Okay. So whichever one you're using, I'll show you how to do it in either or. Now, in the description text of this video, I'm going to have you download a zip file, which will include these 3 files. I want you to place this on the drive where you're going to be downloading this stuff to. So I'm going to put that on my F drive. I'll just paste it in the root of that drive. Okay. Now, this initial setup text file, I want you to right click on it, rename, and we're going to make this a PowerShell script. PS1, yes, and leave that alone. Okay. That's going to be used later on. This is a script that allows us to place this file on our WIM, and then it'll ask us for our host name, our IP address, etc., etc. Okay. So the first one we're going to open up is this template setup text file. Now we will be downloading 7-zip, Notepad++, and the Microsoft Windows ADK. And the reason we're installing the ADK is because we're going to be using that to create an ISO file, because we want to keep these systems as clean as possible and off the internet as much as we can. Okay. So I'm going to close that. First things first, right click, terminal admin, and just follow along in this text file. First thing we're going to do, bypass certificate pinning for the Microsoft Store. This helps in VM environments. Okay, it's enabled. Now we're going to install 7-zip, Notepad++, and Microsoft Windows ADK. Okay. Now, if you're this first time you're using Winget in your environment, it might ask you to accept the licensing agreements. You can do that and just paste. Okay. And I'll come back when those are done. Okay, and we're back. All of that's installed now. What we're going to do is now that we've got 7-zip installed and Notepad++, we're going to reopen this file with Notepad++. So let's close this, start, and type Notepad++, and you'll notice it's there now. I'm going to open this, and I like to use dark mode. So click on Settings, Preferences, and we're going to go right here to dark mode. I'm just going to use Follow Windows and close. Okay. Now I'm going to go File, Open. I'm going to go to that F drive and Template Setup. There we go. Okay. We can close that over there, put this over here, and now we'll follow along. Okay, so we'll start right here. Make sure you change this to the drive that you're placing these files on. It's going to create some folders. Okay, so let's copy and paste. Okay, it's created our folder structure. If you look on the F drive, you'll see we have a template folder, and inside you have a template software, Windows scripts, and you also have a Windows Server 2025 and an extract folder. Okay, now we're going to open up Edge. We're going to go here to the ellipses menu, click on settings, go to downloads, and where it says ask where to save each file before downloading, click on that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go right to this Windows Server Evaluation Center. And this is Server 2025. Change your language to what you want, 64-bit edition. Save as. We're going to go to our F drive, template, and our server folder, and click Save. And I'll come back when that is done downloading. Okay, and that's done downloading. We can close this. Okay, and now we've got that file. Let's verify. Let's go to our F drive, template, server, and there we go. There's our ISO. Okay, and we've closed Edge. Now what we're going to do is we're going to download the installation for 7-zip, BGInfo, the administrative templates, Edge, the WebView 2 runtime, Notepad++, PowerShell 7, and the Visual C++ redistributables. Okay, we're just downloading the files, and that way we can install them on our server. So we'll copy that, paste, and it's downloading to our downloads folder. And I'll come back when that is done. Okay, and that's done downloading. Let's verify. Go to our F drive, template software, and you can see each folder has the files, PowerShell, etc., etc. Okay, Visual C++ runtimes, we're good there. Now, if there's other software you want to add to this, you can say winget search -- query. And let's say we wanted Wireshark. You just do a search, see if it exists. There it is. So you would add Wireshark Foundation.Wireshark right underneath this, and then it would download that for you. I have it create the folder name, new item path. The target path is the name of the software. Okay, so real easy. We're going to now remove all those YAML files. Okay, they're just metadata, so we get rid of those. Now what we're going to do is that PS1 script that I had you download and change. Now you can open this and read what it does. Okay, all it does is ask you for computer name, IP address, subnet mask, gateway, workgroup, preferred DNS, and alternate DNS, and then it has a drop down for the time zone down here. Okay, that's all this does. So we're going to create it, or we're going to convert it to an executable using PS2 exe. Okay, now if you want, you don't have to do this. You can run it as a PS1, and that's fine too. Instead of later on when I have you set the run once key to, or run key to the executable, you can use a PowerShell.exe, set execution policy to bypass, and then do -file and put that wherever you'd like. Okay, but for this video, that's what we're going to do. So we'll copy these two lines. Okay, paste it here. It's going to install that module. And then we're going to convert that module to a executable. Okay, there we go. Now, if we look in our F drive, we should now have an executable as well. Okay, now I'm going to copy that commands text and the initial setup files to our scripts directory. Paste, and it's good there. Now what we're going to do is, because it downloaded certain files, we're going to go to our template.software, Microsoft sysinternals BG info. We're going to shift right click, and you should see 7-zip now. We're going to open that archive. We're going to click on the BG info 64, click extract, OK, and close that. And there's our BG info 64. We're good there. Now let's go to our template.software, administrative templates. We're going to double click on this. Next, I accept. Next, we'll click on browse. Now, of course, you're going to change the drive right here to whichever drive you're on. And our policy definitions folder like that. Click OK, next, and install. And you should see the folder. There it is, policy definitions. Okay, finish. Now what we'll do is we're going to browse to there, and we're going to click on that CS-CZ, shift click on ZH-TW. Now, if you're using any other language except for ENUS, you can use that one. So control click on your language. Okay, I'm using ENUS. Then hold down the shift key, right click, delete, and yes, and hold down the shift while you click that. That way it doesn't go to the recycle bin. And now you have just your language. Okay, we're going to close File Explorer. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use that Windows Assessment and Deployment Kit, the ADK, to create an ISO file called template.software ISO. It uses this command here, right? It creates that, and then we're going to uninstall those administrative templates and remove the download directory so that we only have the ISO, so not wasting size on our drive. Okay, so we'll copy from 123 down to 130, paste. It's going to create our ISO. There we go. It's going to uninstall the administrative templates and press enter. It removed all the folders, and you can type exit. Now we'll just go to our F drive and go to our template folder, and you'll see now we have an ISO. If I right click on that 7-zip and open archive, you'll see all of our software and our template commands is there. Okay, you're good to go. That's it for template.setup. Now, what we're going to do, lab, template.commands, and I'm going to shift right click and edit with Notepad++. Okay, so now that we've got our hypervisors up, okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to guide you through this without a text file, but in Hyper-V, first, right click, new, virtual machine. We're going to call that template. I'm going to store my virtual machine somewhere else. I'm going to store it on my F drive virtual machines. You can store it wherever you'd like. We're going to use this location later on, just so you're aware. So click next. We're going to do a generation 2. Next. Uncheck the use dynamic memory. Next. Not connected. That's fine. Or we can connect it. Okay. So if we like, let's click on default switch so it connects to the internet. Next. I'm going to make this 128 gigabytes. Next. Now remember, that is thin provision, so don't worry. Install an operating system from a beautiful image file. So we're going to go here and remember our F drive template, server 2025 that we downloaded, and there's our ISO. Click OK, open. Good. Next, and finish. Now we're going to go here to settings. Okay. And under our firmware, click firmware. Make sure that DVD drive is at the top. Security, we're going to uncheck secure boot, but we're going to check enable trusted platform. Okay. Processor, I'm just going to set this to 2. Go down to checkpoints, uncheck use automatic checkpoints, and click production checkpoints. Click OK. And that's how you create that VM there. Now we're going to do the same thing in VMware Workstation. We're going to right click, new virtual machine, custom, advanced, next, Workstation 25H2. I will install the operating system later. Okay, 2025 in the drop down. We're going to type template, just like we did there. You can put the location wherever you'd like. I have it on my F drive as well. Next. UEFI, don't click on Secure Boot. Next. We're going to give that 2 processors, just like we did with our Hyper-V one. We're going to give 4096 or 4 gigabytes of RAM. Next. Use NAT. Next. Next. Recommended. Create a new virtual disk. We're going to do the same thing, 128 gigabytes, but we're going to store this as a single file. Next. Click Customize Hardware. We're going to go to our new CD DVD SATA, use ISO image, browse. We're going to choose the same one as our server 2025. Under Display, click Accelerate 3D Graphics and uncheck Automatically Adjust. Click Close, Finish. And now we're going to make sure we have our TPM. So right-click on that template, Settings, Options. Under Access Control, click Encrypt. Give it a password. Oh, there we go. Under Advanced, uncheck Enable Side Channel Mitigations for Hyper-V enabled host. Go to Hardware, Add, and our Trusted Platform module. Finish. Okay. All right. Now, on this one, I'm going to click Connect, and I can minimize this window. Okay, so now we have this window open, this window open. I'm going to start this one first. Click in the window, press the space bar. Make sure you click View, Zoom Level, and 100%. Okay. Then on this one, we'll do the same thing. Power on this virtual machine. Click in the window, press the space bar. You can press the Control and Alt keys at the same time to close this window here. Okay. And we'll wait until that's loaded. So we'll go over here. Next. Install Windows Server. I agree. Everything will be deleted. Next. We'll go over here and do the same thing. Next. Install. I agree. Good. We're going to choose the standard evaluation for right now. We can change that later. Next. Okay. Click Accept. Just like this. Now on here, we're going to say Create Partition 65536, which is 65 gigabytes. Click Apply. Do the same thing over here. 65536. Apply. And click on the Disk 0 unallocated space. Create. And click Apply with the leftover space. That way we have a secondary partition or drive. Click Apply. Do the same thing over here. Create partition. Apply. And now we have 2 primary partitions. Click on Disk 0 Partition 3 and click Next. Disk 0 Partition 3, Next. And install. And let that go. And when it gets to the screen where we're going to check if we're connected, that's when we're going to go into audit mode. So I'll be right back. Oh, that reminds me while we're at it. If you do see a giant red bar with a lock on it, that just means that Secure Boot is not enabled. That's all that means. So don't be scared if you see that. All right. I'll be right back. Here we go. It's coming right up. Okay, and we're back. We're not putting in a password. So we're going to click on the screen and hold down Control, hold down Shift, and press the F3 key. That will immediately reboot the machine into what's called audit mode. Okay. You saw that here in our template.commands text file. Okay. I'm going to place that right in the center. Once we come up, we'll be at the Windows screen. You'll see the system preparation tool, but you can safely ignore that. While we're on that screen, you just press the numlock key. Okay. Same thing is going to happen over here. Give it a few seconds. And you'll see the system preparation tool come up on here as well. There it is. Give that a moment. And numlock. Okay. Now we're going to go down here. We're going to click on Start, Settings on both of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type startup apps. So startup apps, you'll see it come up. Azer Arc Systray. Click that to off. Then down here in the taskbar, right click on it, click exit. Okay, same thing over here. Startup apps and close. This was one of the settings that he asked that we remove, and we can close settings. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do our time date. Okay, so you're going to go time date.cpl. So right click on start, run, time date.cpl. Click on change time zone, choose your time zone. Mine's Arizona. Okay, and then same thing over here, Arizona. Okay, look at the time. Okay, 7:18. Make sure it matches your host. Click OK and OK. All right, so we're there. Now we're going to go to disk management. We're going to fix those disks. So I'm going to move this over here just so I can do it on one here. So right click on start, click on disk management. Okay, I'm going to maximize this so you can see. So 63.88 gigabytes here. Right click, click change drive letter and paths. Click on add. I'm going to choose the F drive for right now. We're going to switch that, but don't worry. Then we're going to right click on the D drive, change that to an E drive. Okay. And then we'll change our F drive back to D. Okay. There we go. Click OK. Yes. And close disk management. And you should see that under this PCOC C, D, and E. We're going to do the same thing on this one. Okay. So right click, disk management. Go ahead and maximize that window. Give it a few seconds to load. Right click, change drive letter and paths, add, F drive, OK, close, change drive letter and paths, change to an E drive, OK, yes, right click, change, D, OK, yes, and close that. We're going to fix that autoplay as well. Click on this PC, and you'll see C, D, and our E drive. Okay, we close disk management. Now what we're going to do is we can close this and close this. Okay, we're going to go to our terminal. So right click, start, click on terminal admin. You can double click on the title bar here to maximize, and you'll see this information bar. We're just going to close that. Same thing here, right click, terminal, double click, and close the information bar. Okay, and we're going to restart the computer. Okay, since we did the drives. So you're going to want to, it's sometimes a pain, but copy and some on the clipboard, type clipboard text. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but we're going to do this. That's why we're going to mount our ISO later. Okay, so press enter and it'll restart. Okay, give that a few seconds. While we're waiting on that one, we'll right click here, terminal admin again. We can double click here. And what we're going to do is we're going to get our multi-line paste warning put away because we're going to be pasting a lot of text. Once we have our ISO mounted, we won't have to worry about this file. We'll copy and paste from within here. Okay, so same thing, right click, terminal admin, double click. We're going to go on our drop down. You'll see the arrow up here, settings. We're going to go to the JSON file, open, notepad, just once. Okay, we're going to do the same thing over here. Boom, settings, JSON file, notepad, just once. Okay, now underneath this schema, I'm going to press enter and I'm going to press spacebar 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to type multi line, paste, warning, like that. Then a colon, false, and a comma. I'm going to file, save, close this, close settings, and close that window. Do the same thing over here. You can see I have that right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, multi-line, paste, warning, colon, false, comma, file, save, close, close, and close. And we've closed our terminal. Now we're going to right click and reopen our terminal. And I want you to type this in because I've noticed that the way that both of these handle the clipboard, if this isn't in enhanced mode, which you can't do in Audit, and this doesn't have VMware tools in it, which we don't want to install because we're creating a clean image, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to type this out. So dism.exe /online /enable -feature feature name net fx3 server features /limit access. Press enter. Now the great part about that we've just pasted this is that we can reuse a lot of this. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. Just press up and then move back here. Go all the way down to where it says server. So we're just going to have netfx3 source. It'll be on our CD drive. So E sources SXS, enter. We're going to do the same thing over here. Okay. So DISM exe online enable feature name net fx3 server features limit access. Okay. Give that a moment. There it goes. Press up. Go back here. Go all the way down to where it says netfx3 /source quote E /sources /SXS quote. There we go. And it's enabling the feature. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to mount our template software ISO, and that way we can copy and paste. So on Hyper-V, we're going to click on Media at the top here, DVD drive, insert disk. We're going to go to our lab template and template software ISO. Click Open. There we go. On this one, it's done. So we're going to right click on template, settings. We're going to go to our CD DVD, browse. We're going to do the same thing, template software ISO, open, OK. And we should see the autoplay window come up for this one as well. There we go. And close. Okay. So now what we can do is we can click on File Explorer, click this PC, template software, and now you should have our template commands. This file is now in here. But we're going to follow along with this one because we'll be doing some restarts as well. Okay, so we're going to go down here where we see our show all desktop icons. Do the same thing on this one. This PC, template shadow, our software, template commands. We'll go down here. There we are. Okay, so we're going to right click. We're going to copy this show all desktop icons. Go here, paste. There we go. We're going to do the same thing over here. Copy and paste. Okay. Then we're going to load the default user hive so that all users have those settings, right? Which are our desktop icons, our file extensions, which disabling notifications. We're setting the BG info JPEG quality to 100%, and we're disabling Windows Snap, which everybody hates, I think. So copy that, Same thing, paste it there. Over here, copy this and paste that there. Okay, we have no red, we're good to go. Okay, now we're going to disable auto run, which he asked for, the admin center pop-up, and the server manager on logon. Okay, and these are all in the H key local machine. So we can copy all of those and paste that there. Do the same thing over here. Copy and paste. And now what we're going to do is we're going to restart the computer. Okay, copy, paste, press enter. It'll be down here. So we're going to move this up a little bit for when we come back. We're going to do the same thing. So restart computer force, paste, press enter, and there we go. Give that a few moments and you see now we have our icons on the desktop. What I like to do is I like to auto arrange them and then unauto arrange them. That way they're in the right order. So right click on the desktop, click auto arrange icons, and then right click again and uncheck it. And now we have how I like them anyway. If you don't like them that way, that's fine. Right click, view, auto arrange icons, and one more time. Boom. What we're going to do is we're going to set our temporary power profile to high performance, which is called scheme_min. And we're going to turn off our timeouts for right now in our hibernation. Okay. So we're going to go back to our template.commands file. We'll go down to where that's at, which is right there. Do the same thing over here. See, this is why I said we got to keep that file open so we remember where we left off. Okay. There we go. And all right. So we'll copy this power profile like this, right click, terminal admin. We can actually close the file explorer. That way we have less windows open and paste that there. Do the same thing here, right click, terminal admin, like that, and copy from here to here and paste. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to do remove leftovers. Now, when you install Windows, we're going to actually fix that on our ISO. But when you install Windows for the first time, for some reason, in 2022 and above, it creates a windows.old folder. And you can delete that. So we're going to do that. So you just right click, paste, and if we check, it is gone. Okay. So do the same thing over here. If it exists, remove it. Just like so. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fix some of our services. We're going to set these services to all auto, and we're going to make sure that when it hits the servicing timeout, it restarts them 3 times. These services we're going to set to manual and do the same thing. Okay. So we'll copy from the bottom of the manual ones all the way up to where it says fix services. Just like so. Paste. And we'll do the same thing over here. Go from the bottom of this one all the way up to fix services, like so. Paste. There we go. And all right. That's fine. Okay. Some of them it's going to say it doesn't have it, and that's fine. Service can't be started, and that's okay. All right. Now what we'll do is we're going to do that winget enable bypass in our VMs. So copy and paste that. Sometimes this is required because it doesn't download a certificate when you're in auditing mode. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're going to click on type exit here, just like so. Okay. And I'm going to move this down so we can see what we're doing. We're going to go to server manager. Okay. So start server manager. Start server manager. We're going to wait for this to load. You'll see another window load here in a moment. And we're going to add the IIS role and the message queuing feature, which Peter mentioned in his email. Okay. So we'll give that a few moments. Once that's fully loaded, I'll come back. Okay. Okay, here we go. We're back. So click on Manage, Add Roles and Features. Click Next, Next, Next. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to where it says Web Server IIS. Click on that. Click Add Features. Next, we're going to go down to Message Queuing, which is right here. Click on that. Next, 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 and restart if required. Yes, and install. We'll do the same thing over here. Manage, add roles and features. Next, next, next. We're going to do IIS, add features. Scroll down to message queuing. Next, 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 and install. Okay, and I'll come back when both of those are done. Okay, and those both are done. So we can click close, and it says to close server manager. There we go. Same thing, close and close server manager. Now we're going to go to our E drive. We're going to install our Visual C++ runtimes. Okay, so on our E drive, we've got two folders. First one is the 64-bit. So we'll double click on that, accept the license, click install, and close. Do the same thing for our x86. Install. There we go. Close. And we'll do the same thing over here. All right. There we go. And I agree. Now you can check that if you want to by right-clicking Start, Run, type appwiz.cpl for the control panel, and you can see both of our redistributables are installed. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to install an Edge update and the WebView runtime. Okay. So do the same thing. We're going to click on Microsoft Edge, double click, and double click there. We'll give that a few moments to install, and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, those are both done. Now we're going to install the Edge WebView runtime. So let's go back here, double click on that, do the same thing over here, double click on that, wait for the window to come up. Should see it here in just a few moments. And once I do, I'll come back when it is installed. There's the window. And we'll see if it comes up on this one real quick. There it is. And I'll come back when that's done. Okay, and we're back. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over. Okay. And you'll see it says Open Edge and then verify the Edge icon on the desktop. So we'll do that. Open Edge. Start without your data. Continue, confirm, and continue. Continue without Google data. Confirm and start browsing. Next, and finish. And we can close this, and you should now see a Microsoft Edge icon on the desktop. Do the same thing over here. And almost there. And there it is. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to disable this Microsoft Edge Update Task Machine Core. And the reason we're going to do that is because this starts Edge as soon as you start the machine the first time. And I don't want that. So click on Start and type Task Scheduler and then open that. Okay. Task Scheduler. And click on Task Schedule Library and go ahead and double click on that and you'll see the machine core one. Right click on that, click delete, yes, and close this. Okay. That's all we're doing. Machine core, right click, delete, yes, and close that as well. Now we're going to set up our BG info. Okay. So I'm just going to set it up a simple way. Okay. So I'm going to copy this, right? So it says here, copy it to the wow64 directory. So copy, go to this PC, C, Windows, go down to the syswow64, right click on that, click paste. Do do the same thing over here. So BG info, right click copy this PC, C, Windows, and syswow 64. Okay. We're down here. Okay. We're going to open that file. So BG info, you'll see 64, double click on it, click agree, and then click background really quickly. Do the same thing here, syswow 64. You can click anywhere and just type BG info and it'll come up there. Double click, agree, background. Okay. So we're going to set your background, but I'm going to use one of the built-in ones. Okay. So use these settings. I'm going to click this. We'll say fill. Okay. Fill, which is what I wrote here. Fill. Okay. We're going to align it to the right when we get that done. So I'm going to go to our C, Windows, Web, Wallpaper, Windows, and I'm going to choose image 19, which is the dark mode image. Click OK. OK. We'll do the same thing on this side. Okay. I'm going to go to C, Windows, Web, Wallpaper, Windows, image 19. Click Open and OK. Now our position, as you can see, I say align to the right, right? So I'm going to click aligned. I'm going to delete all these first because I'll only want a few of these. So I'm going to align to the right here, just like that. Position, I want it at the top right, okay? So click OK, position, top right, okay? That's what I have. And now what we're going to do, configure the host name first, and it'll be 14-point sky blue bold, okay? So we'll go down here, host name, double click. I'm going to actually click here, and I'm going to delete that part. I'm going to highlight this thing. I'm going to make it 14 point. And in color, you'll see this says sky blue. Click OK. And there we go. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go to host name. Click here. Shift home. Delete that. Shift end. I'm going to do 14 point, bold, and sky blue. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to click enter at the end of that so that I'm down below it. And this, I'm going to uncheck bold. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click white text, and it's going to be 12 point normal. Okay. And this is going to be my username. Okay. Just like that. And I'm going to shift, click like that, and press enter twice. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Uncheck bold. No. 12. No. And colors white. No. And I'm going to do the username. Boom. And just like this. And press End key and down twice. Okay. So we've got our username. And now we're going to do the OS and memory. So I'm going to say OS version. Right. I don't want that in bold. So uncheck bold. And it said RAM memory. So memory like this. I'm going to delete that. And at the end of this, I'm just going to space and type RAM. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing over here. So OS version, which of course we want it to be 12 point, white, not bold, just like this. Press enter. We're going to go to memory, uncheck, and something got, all cattywampus, and that's okay. And space RAM. For some reason, we're going to uncheck bold because it seems like it set it by itself, just like that. Okay. And the last thing we're going to do is the IP address. Okay. So then we'll just go down here. IP address, end, and uncheck bold. Click apply, file, save as. We're going to save this in the same folder. This PC, Windows. We're going to save it in the syswow64. We're just going to call this bginfo.bgi. Click OK, just like that. And you can see it right here. We're going to do the same thing on this one. We'll add our IP address, just like so. Oh, that's okay. Delete that. IP address, just like so. And apply, file, save as. We'll go back to C, Windows, syswow64, and we'll call this bginfo.bgi. Enter. OK. We can close this window and close this window. And now what we're going to do, we're going to add a registry key that sets that so that it starts every time somebody logs in. It's in the HKey local machine run area, and it uses our BG info. So right click, terminal admin, paste, enter. Okay. Same thing here. Copy and paste. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to click on start, run, and we're going to paste this here. That just loads it for the first time. Just like that. Paste. So we'll go down here. Just hold down shift, press end, control C to copy. Right click, run, and paste. Okay. And now what we'll do, we're going to close all terminal windows. Okay. Because we're going to be updating our PowerShell and our terminal. All right. So we close that. Go here to our E drive. Okay. We're going to go to our PowerShell. Next. Click all the buttons here. Next. And install. Okay. Do the same thing. And I'll walk you through those real quick. Okay. Next. So enable PowerShell remoting. Disable telemetry. Add open here context menu. And add run with PowerShell 7 context menu. Next. And install. I'm going to click launch PowerShell here. Finish. Just to make sure it says 7.5.4. Okay. And we're going to set PowerShell 7 as the default. So we'll go here in our dropdown, click on settings, and where it says default profile, now you have PowerShell. Click on that and click save, and then you can close that. Okay. So launch PowerShell, drop down, settings, PowerShell, save, and close the terminal. All right. And now what we're going to do is we're going to update all the rest of our software on our machine. Okay. So double click here. We can get upgrade all, include unknown. We're going to do the same thing over here. You'll notice it says, do you agree to all the source agreement terms? We're going to say yes. Y. There we go. And it's going to upgrade our app installer, our Visual C++ 2015 UWP desktop runtime, and our Windows terminal itself. Okay. And I'll come back when that's done. Okay, and we're back. So you can either type exit at there, or you can just close the window, and we restart the terminal. So right click, there we go, and same thing here. So let's go down here. So now we're going to do long paths enabled, and our short file name creation should be disabled. These are both best practices for Windows Server. So we'll go here. I'm going to copy both of those at the same time, even though there's a little bit of space in between. And there we go. I'll do the same thing over here. copy from here to here, and paste. There we go. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is the group policies that we downloaded, the administrative templates. We're going to add those, which are from Windows 11. So we can manage our Windows 11 machines through group policy. So you copy from down here to right about copy where it says copy group policy templates. Okay. Copy and paste. There we go. And we'll verify those here in a second. I'll show you how to verify. There's a few little files we can verify. All right, there we go. And let's go to this PC, C, Windows, and our policy definitions folder. We just added all of those down here. Okay, so you can see lots of Windows products have been added. Terminal server stuff. This will allow you to use group policy to manage those newer features in Windows 11. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Let's close that window. Now what we'll do is we're going to fix the best practices and Azure SMB file. So there's an actual file that has the wrong command, right? And we're going to fix that because the command is actually SMB server connection or configuration auto disconnect timeout in minutes v1 is the actual command, but our SMB still has the old version of that. So the way we're going to do that is from right here to where the notepad exe file is. We're going to right click, copy, and we're going to paste that. Okay. We'll do the same thing over here. Right down to notepad and copy and paste that. Okay. We're going to click edit, replace on both of these, just like that. We'll go down here to our file. We can move this a little bit. We'll copy this from the find what, place that here, and then we'll replace it with this line here, all the way to the end, replace all. You'll see the little asterisk that shows that you've changed a line. Click File, Save, and you can close that. Do the same thing over here. We'll click all the way to here to the if, paste that, and this one here, copy. Oop, uncheck that, sorry. That's my fault. I'll paste that here and grab this one again for the top. That's okay. Things happen. Replace all, close this, file, save, and we fixed that file now. Okay, good to go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to remove our evaluation and set it to server standard with a KMS key. Now, our KMS keys, Microsoft releases all of those here. So KMS client activation product keys. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to our server operating systems. And we're setting this KMS key to 2025 standard. If you want to do data center, you can do this, and then you'll just change this command where it says server standard to server data center. Okay. So, and then we're going to install the BitLocker and BitLocker management tools. And then we're going to disable ship with reserve storage, which allows us to sysprep and add BitLocker at the same time. So I'm going to copy from down here all the way up here where we had our URL. That's okay. The URL is just going to be a remark. Okay. Same thing on this side. We'll copy from right here to all the way up here and copy and paste. Now, while that's doing that, I'm going to show you a little thing here. So if I had drivers that I wanted to set this WIM to install on a certain model of machine, what I would do is I would place those in an ISO, like we did with our template, and I would place them in a, let's say, HP, Lenovo, or Dell drivers folder, and I would place all the drivers underneath that folder. And then I would have this PMP util, plug and play utility, add the driver and the subdirectories and install those onto my machine, onto my WIM. And that way I can install this onto a machine, onto a server, and it will have the drivers already embedded. Okay. So I didn't do that in this one only because we're doing VMs for right now, but you can do that in here when we create our WIM. So at this point in the video, if you wanted to create, or if you had drivers, you could create an ISO, mount it, install them, and then remount the template file that we have. Okay. So now I'm going to restart the computer because we've just, it says here, morning must restart server to finish the installation. Right. So we're going to go down here to restart computer, copy, paste, enter. Okay. Restart dash computer, force, and there we go. And I'll come back when those are both ready. Okay, and we're back. So let's go to our machines. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to do Windows updates. So click Start, Settings. We're going to maximize the window. Click on Windows Update and click Check for Updates. Okay. Same thing here. Now this is a special month. They released on the 17th a out of band update. I'm going to show you that because we're going to be downloading that. If you click on the update history, normal patch Tuesday was the 13th. Every second Tuesday of the month is patch Tuesday on the 13th, right? But then they had a problem, so they released an out of band update. And the reason why is it broke remote desktop. The previous one did. Okay. So this normally doesn't get pulled down by WSUS or by Windows Update. So we're going to actually download this on our machines manually after we're done running Windows updates. Okay, so we'll get to that in just a few moments. Let me close this window. You'll see Windows updates are installing. Now the difference between Hyper-V and VMware is that in Hyper-V, because it's integrated with the operating system, it doesn't download driver updates. But in VMware Workstation, you'll notice a Broadcom driver. We're going to be removing that because you only want to have drivers that are installed by default, not additional OEM drivers. Okay. So you'll see down here, once we're done, we're going to remove that OEM driver. Okay. And I'll show you that later. Once these are done and it says installed and or completed, and it'll say pending restart, we'll come back. Okay. And I'll see you in a few moments. Okay. And we're back and we're ready for restart on both machines. So we'll click restart and we'll come back. We're ready to install that out of band update. I'll see you in a few moments. Okay. And we're back. Let's make sure that we have all of our updates from Windows Update. So we'll click on settings, maximize that, give it a few moments. I'll come back when that screen comes back up. Okay. And it says you're up to date. But of course, we know that there's an out of band update. So if we type WinVer here, we can see it's 32230, correct? And if we look in the update history, 32230 was on the 13th. We need 32234 as our build. So we're going to install that out of band update. Okay. So click OK. We're going to open up our template commands file. We'll go all the way down here and look for our URL, which is right there. Okay. So we're going to go here like this, and we're going to open up the Microsoft catalog. Okay. We're We're going to do the same thing on this side. All the way down here to our Microsoft catalog. There it is. Just like so. Copy, open, paste. And what we're looking for is 26100 32234, right? Search, do the same thing here, just like so. And there it is. All right. So click on download. Same thing here. We're actually going to get this first file, not this one here. Save. Same thing here. And there we go. Now, what I forgot to do is I'm going to actually stop those because I was showing you. We're going to save this on the desktop, okay? So let's go to settings here first and click on the hamburger menu, downloads, and ask where to save the file. Download again. And when we click it this time, it'll ask us where we want to save it. We're going to save it on our desktop. Okay. Same thing on this side. Just a small thing, but hamburger menu, downloads, ask where, and download again. Just like so. And 77793, save as, to the desktop, save. And we'll close this. We can minimize these windows, and you see our update here. We're going to double click on that and let that go. Same thing over here. You can see we're going to install, then restart, and then we'll delete that MSU. So this one's done here. Minimize, double click. And I'll come back when that comes and ask me if I'd like to install it. Okay, there it is. Click on yes. It'll do the same thing over here. And we'll come back when those are installed. Okay, we're almost there. Update's being installed. Come back as soon as it's done. Okay, and we're back. We're going to restart. Good. Same thing on this side. When we come back, we should be at 32234. So I'll see you in just a few moments. Okay, and we're back. We can shift, right click, and hold down shift and click delete on those files so they don't go to your recycle bin. The same thing over here. And what we can do is we can check WinVer. We should be at 32234, as I said. And this one here as well, WinVer 32234. We're good. Okay, so that's installed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to install our 7-zip notepad in here. So let's go to our 7-zip folder. Double click, install, and close. Same thing here, double click, install, close. Let's go to Notepad++, double click, okay, next, I agree, next, and install. We'll do the same thing on this side. There we go. We don't have to run that, just click finish. Okay, next. Same thing here. Give that a few moments and uncheck this. Boom. Okay. Now we're going to install Glavsoft Tight VNC, Wireshark, Putty, Fiddler Classic, and the runtimes. These are just things that Peter there said he installs. So I'm just showing you how to do that. Okay, so we'll go here to our template command folder, our file. We're going to go down way down here. There we go. And we're going to go from the bottom of this to here. We're going to right click, terminal admin, and paste. Okay. We'll do the same thing on this side. go all the way down here. There we are. I'm going to copy from here all the way up to when get apps. Copy, right-click terminal, and paste. And let those install. And I'll come back as soon as that's done. Okay, and we're back. Those are installed. So the next thing we're installing, it looks like OpenSSH. Okay, and then we'll start the services for OpenSSH, and we'll check all of our applications. So we go in here. We're going to go all the way from underneath AppWiz. We'll copy all the way up to add Windows capability. Paste. Okay, we'll do the same thing on this side. Go all the way from the bottom of AppWiz, all the way up. Copy and paste. And that'll install. And then our AppWiz will open. We can maximize this just to look at our software. We have 7-zip, the .NET Runtime 10, ASP.NET Core Runtime, Microsoft Edge, the web view, our C++ runtimes, our desktop runtime, Notepad++, PowerShell 7, Fiddler Classic, PuTTY, Tight VNC, and Wireshark. Same thing on this side. We're all good. Looks like they match up. We can close that and close that. And now what? Now we're going to clean up our software distribution folder. Okay. So what we'll do is on our drop down here, we're going to click on command prompt since we're already an administrator, but we want to use the command prompt. And that's the great thing about the terminal is it's just like a browser. You can add tabs just like that. So we're going to copy this command here. It's going to stop certain services, delete the files inside the software distribution, and restart those services. So there we go. Do the same thing here. We're going to copy here like this. Go to our dropdown, command prompt, paste, and let that go. And it'll do the same thing. It's going to delete all those files in that software distribution folder, and then it'll restart those services. Okay. Then what we'll do is we're going to go back to our dropdown on PowerShell. Right. So we can actually close this. We're in our PowerShell here. Same thing on this side. It's almost done. Perfect. We could add a new window if we wanted to, but we'll use the PowerShell we already have open. So we're going to enum our drivers, and that's just going to show us if there's a driver installed, unless we did our drivers like I showed you before with the Dell drivers, right? But we will only see this Broadcom driver, see no published driver packages, but we see this Broadcom one on the VMware workstation. We're going to remove that, and the easy way to do that is you see the OEM number. So what we'll do is we'll replace this right here with a 0. We'll copy that just like this and paste, and boom. And now if we do an enum of drivers, it's all gone, just like the other one. Okay. Now what we'll do is we're going to clean up WinGet cache, clean up our recently opened items in the start menu, and clean up Explorer. Okay. So we'll copy from here all the way up to here. Now, if you notice, there's a bunch of stuff that says recently added template commands, this here and that there. This just cleans it up a little bit, okay? Just like that. And paste. You look, it cleaned it up a little bit more. That's good. Okay. So we'll do the same thing here, all the way up. Boom, copy, and paste. There we go. Now we're going to do our clean manager. Okay. So we'll copy this, paste it there. Boom. You'll see disk cleanup. Click OK. Same thing on this side. Just cleanup manager. Just like that. Click OK. And we're going to select all the boxes. Okay. Just like this. You'll see it'll free up about 723 megabytes. So delete files. Same thing over on this side. Probably be about the same, if not a little bit more. 723. Yep. Same thing. Boom. There we go. Okay. And we'll come back when that is done cleaning. Okay. Just like this. And I put a note here. You may need to click the disk cleanup window once the progress bar is completely green to complete this step, because sometimes it just sits there. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll remove our provisioned apps for sysprep, which is the edge stable, few runtime things, winget source, and notepad++. We'll remove the provision package. It doesn't remove them from the system. It just removes the provision package so that when we install it for any other user later on, it'll be fine. But if we don't do this, right, if we install certain applications, then our sysprep will fail. Now, what you'll want to do if it does fail, and I'm going to show you that before we do this, if you go to C, Windows, System 32, okay, and you go sysprep, Panther, there will be a setup account log right here, okay, or the setup error log. And what you want to do is you want to open this up, and it'll tell you why your sysprep failed, and it'll tell you certain applications. What you'll want to do is, let's say that it tells you that it fails at a certain one that's not named here. You can just add a comma and then add the name of that application, and it'll remove the provision package. Okay, and then you'll do your sysprep later. Okay, so we're going to sysprep this, of course, before we shut it down, and that way it's ready to go when we place it into our media. So after this, of course, we'll clear those. We'll clear our logs, and then we'll restart. Okay, so I'll give it a few moments to let these clean up, and I'll be back. Okay, and we're back. So what we're going to do, go down here, we'll remove our provisioned apps. So copy from down there to the provisioned app there, and paste just like that. Okay, same thing on this side. Like I said, if you see an error after you've added other apps, check your Panther file. Okay, there we go. Good. Now we're going to go here to clear all logs. Okay, just like this. Paste. And same thing here. Okay. We're just cleaning it up before we get it ready to go. Okay. And of course, we're going to restart the machine. Just like so. Paste. Same thing here. Restart computer force. Okay. And what we're going to do? We're going to mount our Windows disk again. Okay. So we'll do this, and there we are. Once this is up, click on Media, DVD drive, and we're going to click Insert Disk. Go back to our server file and open that. Since we've disabled auto run, it shouldn't come up. That's good. Okay. Do the same thing on this one. Okay. We're going to go to right-click Template, Settings, CD DVD, Browse, and there we go. Open, and we're good to go there. And now we're going to do our sysprep. So we click on Generalize and Shut Down, just like that. Okay. Generalize and shut down, and okay. Give that a few moments. You'll see sysprep is working. Same thing on this side. There we go. Okay. And I'll come back when these are shut down. I'll see you in a few moments. Okay, and we're back. So we're right here. So in Hyper-V, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go to File, Settings. I'll move this over a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Okay. What we're going to do is on our network adapter, we're going to click in our drop down. We're going to say not connected. We're going to go to our firmware. We're going to click on our network adapter and move it up twice. And then our DVD drive, we're going to move it up once. That way the network is first, DVD drive. The reason why this causes a little bit of delay so that we can press our key when we need to. Okay. Now on the VMware side, okay, we're going to right click, settings. Okay. We're going to go to our network adapter. We're going to click uncheck the connect at power on, right? And we're going to click OK. Now what we're going to do with this one is we're going to, when we power on, we're going to press F2 while we're booting. Okay. Just like that. F2. Sorry. Let me try that one more time. So view, we'll just VM, we'll say power, restart guest, press F2. Okay. Just like so. Give it a second. There it is. We'll go down to our virtual SATA CD drive, press enter, and then press spacebar. Okay. Now on the other one, we're going to click start, and we're going to move this and press any key. There we go. Okay. That's pretty quick on Hyper-V. It doesn't have the same BIOS features as this one. Okay. So in VMware, right? We already did that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go here to repair our next and repair my PC. We'll do the same thing on this side. Repair my PC. Next. Click on US or whichever. Troubleshoot and command prompt. Troubleshoot, command prompt. Okay. Now we're going to do this. We're going to go disk part. Okay. I'm going to move this over so you can see it. We'll say select disk 0, like that. We'll say list part. Now you'll notice we got partition 3 is 63 gigs and partition 5 is 63 gigs. Those are our two partitions. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select partition 3 and I'm going to assign the C drive to that. Then I'm going to select part 5, partition 5, and assign letter E because our D drive is already there. Then I'll type exit, go to E. There's nothing on the E drive. So we're going to make two folders, a capture folder and a scratch folder. Okay. And then I'll do the same thing on this side. All right. So disk part, select disk 0, list parts, partitions, same thing, 3 and 5. So select part 3, assign letter C, right? Select part 5, assign letter E. There we go. And then we'll say exit and E, make directory E capture, make directory E scratch. Now to make sure that our C drive is good, there it is. There's our Windows directory. Same thing here. There's our Windows directory. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to capture our image. So we're going to use DISM, capture image file. We're going to place it in our E drive. We're going to call it install WIM. And I'll tell you why later, because what we're going to do is replace the one on our Windows disk. We're going to capture the C drive. Our scratch directory is E scratch. We're going to call it Windows Server 2025. And we can change this to, since we're not using data center, right? We're using standard with desktop experience. That's fine, right? Or if we're using data center, it's fine too. So standard with desktop experience, compress, max, check integrity, and verify. Okay. We can actually copy this whole line with Control C, and we can go to clipboard, type get clipboard text, do the same thing, edit, paste, same thing, and press enter on each one. And it's going to start creating our WIM. So I'll wait till that starts, and then we'll come back when it's done. Okay. Let's give it a few moments just to make sure that it gets past 1%, of course. I just want you to see what it's going to do. There it goes. There's that one. Saving image, 1%. Same thing on this side. Wait for that. This is where I would, there we go. Okay, and I'll see you in a few moments. So since we have two different VMs and we're going to be, well, I do, but you're going to be doing one. So what I'm going to do is in my lab folder here, what I can do is you'll see I'm copying the file to here, the install file. I'm going to create two folders just for myself. I'm going to call one Hyper-V, and I'm going to call the other one VMware, okay? Because I'm going to copy those install WIMs here. Now, later on, you're going to see we're going to be extracting our file here, okay? So while that's doing that, I'm going to show you that we can actually do this part now if we'd like to, and then of course this part is for our install WIM. That way I'm not wasting your time. So you can see our ISO, and since we have 7-zip installed, I'm going to hold down my Shift key. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to move this up to the extract folder, 7-zip, and I'm going to click extract here. Okay. Give that a moment. Now, inside the extracted folder, you'll see a sources directory. There are two WIMs in here, a boot WIM and an install WIM. We're going to be replacing the install WIM, which is the normal installation for server. This has 4 indexes in it. It has a standard core, standard with desktop, then a data center core, and data center with desktop. Ours will only be that standard. And that's the thing. Once you have a standard, you can actually upgrade that to data center from within Windows. But I'm going to delete this file on our sources directory. Yes, just like that, because we'll be replacing that. Okay, so give that a moment, and as soon as these are done, we'll do this step here. Okay, I'll see you then. Okay, and the operation's completed successfully. Now what we're going to do is we're going to type exit, turn off your PC. We'll do the same thing on this side. Turn off your PC. Okay, and what we'll do is we're going to close both Hyper-V or VMware Workstation, whichever one you're using. And now for Hyper-V, okay, I, of course, created my own folder on here, right? So if I go to Virtual Machines, Hyper-V, and I look at my template file here, Virtual Hard Disk, you'll see my VHDX. If I shift right click on that and open with 7-zip, open archive, you'll see I can see the partitions. The one we're looking at is the basic data partition 4. You'll see our capture folder there, okay? And you'll see our install WIM. I'm going to click extract, and I'm going to extract it to our template, Microsoft Windows Server 2025. And of course, I'm going to put this in our Hyper-V folder. You would just put it in the root of this drive if you're just doing one, okay? And I extract that. Give that a few moments. And there we go. We've extracted that. Now what we're going to do for VMware Workstation, almost the same thing. We're going to go to Virtual Machines, our VMware template. Okay, what we're looking for is our VMDK file, which is here. Shift right click, 7-zip, open archive. Same thing. 4th partition, capture. There's our install WIM, extract. Boom. We're going to put that in our where. So we're going to look in our template, and this one goes in our VMware folder. Click OK. And there we are. Okay. So now we'll go to our F drive, template, server 2025. We can see there's our install WIM. This one here is 9.52 gigs. This one here is 9.5 gigs, just a tiny bit smaller. They're almost the exact same size, okay? So what I'll do is I'm just going to use the smaller one just because it's the 9.5, okay? So I'll copy this, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to our extract folder, sources, right click, and paste, okay? There we go. Okay. And now what we'll do, we can close this. Okay. So we've copied it there. All right. And now what we're going to do is we're going to mount this WIM, okay, which is in that folder. We're going to copy that setup exe, initial setup exe, into the mounted directory under the Windows temp. Okay. We're going to load our Hive, our software Hive. And then we're going to change the label of the C drive to Windows. We're going to remove the C Windows old on first boot, like I said we would fix. We're going to set 2 of the services to manual. And then we're going to run that initial setup script in the run directory, our setup exe. Now, this is where I was telling you, if you wanted, instead, you can change this to PS1. And here, where it says to run just this, you could do a PowerShell.exe, execution policy bypass, and then -file C Windows temp initial setup.ps1. If you're not comfortable with the executable, and that's fine. Then you can unload the temp hive, and we'll unmount it and commit it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to copy from 665 up to 639. Now remember, change the F drive to whatever drive you're using on all of these commands. It should be at here, 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 and here. Okay, the rest of them don't have the F drive. So I'm going to right click, terminal admin, paste. Okay, and that's what it's going to do. I'm going to let this go through its whole setup so you can see how this works. It's mounting our image to that F mount directory, which we create. So we create the new path F mount. Then we mount our WIM. We copy the executable. We load that temp hive, change all these settings, unload the hive, and commit all of those to the WIM. Okay, so give that a few moments. After that's done, we're going to open System Image Manager. Okay, we're going to load the install WIM. And we don't have to do this, but this is built into our commands. And that's in, if we want to set our time zone, we can do that. We don't need to. I'm not going to go through this because you can change the time zone very easily. But then we're going to set our location to our ADK. We'll create our bootable WIM, our bootable ISO, I'm sorry, and we'll exit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a VM with that to show you that it's now completely done. So because we're here, I'm going to delete this template folder. We've already, or file, okay? I'm going to do the same thing with our VMware template. So manage, delete from disk, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure in our virtual machines area under Hyper-V, template, virtual hard disk. I'm going to delete that virtual hard disk. Okay. And that way we're all clean. We're all ready to go. And then we'll create our ISO, and then I'll load a new machine with each of them and show you how that works. Okay. Operation is completed successfully, right? So now what we'll do is I'm going to copy from 680 up to 675. That way it doesn't exit until I press enter. So do that. You see it's creating our bootable ISO. There we go. It's got the build number we put there, server underscore standard underscore desktop, x64en-us ISO. Almost done. Give that a few seconds. And 99. There we go. 100% pure. Exit. We're going to go to our drive, and you can see here's our new one, right? 10.2 gigs full. Good. Okay. So I'm going to close these, and now we're going to we can close all this, and I'm going to open up both. We're going to create new VMs in each one. So on this one, new virtual machine. This time I'm going to just call this 2K25 server. Okay. Just like that. I'm going to say store it in different location. Next, generation 2, same thing. Use dynamic memory. We can connect this to the internet. We can give it 128 gigs. We're only going to use one partition. Install an operating system from the new ISO. There we go. Finish. And this time, when we go to settings, we're going to go to our security, enable secure boot and enable trusted. I'm going to set this to 2. Okay. Go down to checkpoints, uncheck that, production. Okay. Connect. Good. I'll minimize this. And then in this one, create new virtual machine, custom, 25H2. I'll install the operating system later. We're going to call that 2K5 or 2K25 server, just like the other one. UEFI secure boot, 2 processors, 4 gigs of RAM. Next. There we go. 128 gigs. Next. Customize hardware. Use ISO. Use our new ISO. NAT, connected to the internet. Display, accelerate. Uncheck the automatically adjust. Close. Finish. Let's make sure we do our TPM. So we'll go to access control, encrypt, give it a password. Just like so. Make sure we turn off side or enable side channel mitigations. Disable that. Hardware, add, TPM, finish. Okay. Start. Press the space bar. Power on. Press the space bar. Control and Alt to get out of the window. Close that. Next. Install Windows Server. I agree. Next. Accept. Next. And you'll see Windows Server 2025 Standard, Desktop Experience, install. Same thing here. Accept. Next. Same thing. Install. And I'll come back when that's ready. Okay, and we're done. Now we're going to give ourselves a password on each machine. Hopefully I typed that right. Oh, do it one more time up here. There we go. Same thing here. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to set this to 1280 by 800. I'll click on Show Options, save my settings for future connections. This is for our enhanced session, which allows copy and paste now, which is great. We'll do the same thing with our VMware by adding VMware tools, but give that a few moments. I'm going to click on View, and there we go. Okay. Now, the enhanced session here, actually, the zoom level is a little bit bigger than normal. So I'm going to click on Required Only here, Accept, and I'm going to wait for my BG tools to load, BGI info, sorry, and Control-Alt-Insert over here, and then add our password. Give that a few moments. Once BG info loads, you'll also see our initial install executable load up, which will be great. There we go. BG info is loaded. Okay. Give that a few moments, and there is our initial setup. Okay. Required only. What I'm going to do over here is I'll do the same thing. Okay. I'll wait for BG info on this one. While I'm doing that, I'm going to give it a name so you can see. We'll just give it 2K25 server like we did here. I'm going to do 192.168 10.55. All right, doesn't matter. And I'll just give it a 24 bit mask. 192.168 10.1 work group. I'll call it Hyper-V, and these are, optional. I'm in US, or I'm in, let's see, US Mountain Standard Time there. Apply and reboot. Okay, good. And on this side, click OK. On this side, we're going to do same thing, 2K25 server. Don't worry, that'll come back up here. 192.168, we'll say 100.25. Doesn't matter, right? Just giving it an IP address, and we'll see that IP address show up over here when we're done. Gateway, 192.168, 100.1. Work group, we'll call that VMware work group. We'll set this one to, I don't know, we'll leave it at Pacific time. All right, and then restart. Reconnect there. Put in our password. There we go. Once that's done, once this loads up, you'll see this will change. This will change. Give it a few moments. There it goes. So now we have our IP address that we set, 2K2 server. Our time zone should be Arizona. Perfect. And let's go to WinVer. We're at 32234. Let's also go to AppWiz. CPL. And there's all of our software. Okay. Good there. This one, I'm going to restart. Give it a few moments. There we go. Oop. So if we don't, there we go. That's fine. Okay. Now what we can do is Control-Alt-Insert. We'll log in here. Give that a few moments to load. Once we see our host name, and there we go, and our we can right-click, install VMware tools. Give that a few moments. Double-click. Remember, we disabled auto run, so it won't show up. That's fine. So we're going to install that. Next, typical, install. This one here we know is good. We can shut this down. And close. Exit. There we go. And we can close that. We'll give this a few moments. Finish. Yes. I'll come back when that is restarted. Okay. And we Control-Alt-Insert, log in. You can see that our graphics driver loaded because we got a nice semi-transparency there. I'm going to right-click and I'll change the display settings to something more comfortable for me. We'll say 1280 by 1024. Keep changes. Now remember, see how it's loaded like this? That's BG info, right? So what you can do, now that we've got this all loaded, we can copy and paste easily from our, Notepad++. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a search for BG info in my text file here, right? Search find next. There we go. And I'm going to copy this command here, right click, run, paste, and it'll fix our BG info. There we go. Okay. So now we know our host name is good. Our IP address that we set is good. Our Windows version is all up to date. Our applications are installed. There we go. Loading up. And we are good to go. Okay. So you have a fully up-to-date Windows installation. It changed the installation of Windows. There's no Windows.old folder. And we're 100%. So right-click, power, shut down guest. And Peter, I hope that helps you. You can also, with that ISO that you created, you can place it onto a, you can place this ISO onto a USB stick or burn it onto a DVD and or a Blu-ray maybe, and you should be good to go. So if you have any questions, concerns, comments, let me know. I will start our SCCM Mecum 2509 video series soon, which will be server 2025 and all of the new tricks and things to get it working well. All right. So I'll talk to you all later. Have a great rest of the day.